This tutorial we're going to cover entering products on a sales order, estimate, purchase order, and even door and hardware schedules. Now it's pretty all-inclusive because it works the same way no matter which form you're on. There is one difference with an estimate. I'll pull one up here. And if on an estimate you add products under product information and also on a sales order or anything else. So on a product information tab, on an estimate, you can see everything's grayed out. I can't type anything. That's because you have to select what type of estimate you're going to generate. And so let's say we want to do hardware. Select hardware, and now all the fields open up. I can start adding products. So this estimates are the only one that has this drop down for a type of estimate. Now everything else, you would go directly to the product information tab, sales orders, purchase orders, and you start entering products here. Now the first thing you see is a SKU. Is what was covered under added products. You have over 300,000 products that were already built into your database when you first get Portal Pro. And those products have a SKU that's automatically generated by Portal Pro. So it does not match the SKU that's on a product's box or anything like that. You can use that if you like. You'd have to rescan, regenerate the SKU. That's all covered under added products. But anyway, if you are using the SKU here, you would make sure your cursor is in the box. You can see it's, we'll click in there, you can see it's blinking now. And if you have a barcode scanner, you SKU the code and it loads it here automatically. Now when I move out of that field by clicking on the next field or something, it will automatically pull in the product with that SKU and load all these fields, the necessary fields, automatically for me. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and do it by vendor manufacturer. So let's say I'm going to do Schlage. Now, because I told Portal Pro under vendors and manufacturers that I buy direct from Schlage, when I select Schlage, it will automatically load Schlage as a manufacturer. So Schlage of here in the vendor is going to give me the discounts I need from that vendor. And then manufacturer here is going to give me the products for that manufacturer. Now you can see I've got, well, let me step back for a second. Let's clear these fields. If it's somebody like, let's say Akron Hardware, they are a vendor only. They don't manufacture anything. So you can see the manufacturer field is empty. I have to select which manufacturer I want to use from Akron Hardware. And then those products will be loaded in the parts drop down. So let's go ahead and we'll go back to do Schlage. Now you can see the list is all the products that are currently in the database for Schlage. But let's say there's a product I'm looking for that maybe this was it ND80 OME, and but I want it in a 605 finish. Well, I don't see it in the list here. In that case, I would just leave this blank, click on Add New Part Number. I get a message after adding a new part, reselect manufacturer or category to reload the parts drop-down. Say OK, and it adds the Add Edit Products form. Now I go through here and add a product, whether it's through Toad or however, wherever the product's coming from, and I save it. And then once I'm done saving it, I can close this. Or if you're going to be entering more products, just minimize it so you can get back to it easier, or just as easy. I'm going to go ahead and close it. And now I need to reselect the manufacturer or the category so it will reload this parts drop down and include that new part number that I just added. Okay, if I need to filter this list even more, instead of having all the products by Schlage, let's say I just want cylinders. I can first select the category for cylinders, and now when I look at the drop down, that's all I have, are the cylinders. So it makes it easier to find what part it is you're looking for on large drop downs. You'll always see this NSP in here. This is a one-time thing only. non-stock item product or non-standard product, whatever you want to call it. When I select this, you can see everything's empty. So you have to go through and enter everything. Description, category, the price, the discount, all that. And that would be something that it's a one-time thing only. It's not something that will even get counted in your inventory. So that's the only reason you'll see that item there. You can use it if you like or just disregard it. That's up to you. So let's say, let's go back. I'm going to reselect Schlage. And we'll just come down here and grab any lock. Just grab something. Okay, so you can see when I grabbed the lock, it automatically loaded category for me. It loaded the description. Now that the cursor is blinking in the quantity field, so it wants to know how many do I want to add to this order. So I can type the quantity in. This is a unit of measure and the weight. You can view the cut sheet from here. If this is part of Toad, you can click this and it will pull in the cut sheet from Toad. If it's not a Toad product, then you would have to create a cut sheet for it, and that's all covered in added products. You would have to save it somewhere so you can get to it again. Right here it shows you the quantity you have on hand, quantity committed, quantity on order, and quantity available. So it says -2 because I've committed 2, but I don't have any on hand and I don't have any on order. So that item needs to get ordered so I can fulfill this sales order. These are some buttons. If you want to show stock, you would click that and it would show you just the stock items, items that are in stock. You can search products. You can even create cut sheets that would create cut sheets of all the products on the sales order. So over here is the list price that was loaded for this item, and a discount was automatically entered. And that's the standard discount, just a standard everyday discount I get from Schlage for this item. Now, if this is a special project where Schlage gave you special pricing or special discount, the way you would enter that, see, everything is grayed out. I can't click or anything. You would click this and come down and click on Special. And when I do that, now I can enter the discount percentage or multiplier. The important number is the multiplier. So if they give you a multiplier of, let's say, 0.45, enter that here, and that will generate the new cost for you. If they don't give you a multiplier, and let's say they give you something like 50, 20, and 10, then just simply type 50, hit the space key, no commas or anything like that, 20, space, 10. Enter it like that. Now when I click out of that, go to the next field or whatever, it automatically generates the multiplier for me. So I don't have to do math to figure out what's the multiplier with this kind of discount. It calculates it for me automatically. And it also regenerated a new cost. This net add is typically used, I would not worry about it unless you want to use it for something. But it's typically used, let's say, Toad will use it if a manufacturer has a product, let's say on this lock, it's typically discounted with the whatever the standard discount is or whatever discount they give me. But there's an option on it that maybe, say, a knurled lever, and it's a net add. It's not discounted or anything, so it's just a net add of maybe $10. So I would add 10 here, and when I move out of that, you'll see it'll add to the total cost another $10. So typically you don't worry about this. It's there if a product should need it. I have had customers add different kinds of costs in there that they just wanted to add to the cost. That's all up to you. Okay, then we have average freight in. Now this is the average freight to bring this product into your place of business. And it's a percentage, and the percentage is based on the category that was selected. I believe in this case that's all set up at 4%. Those percentages are controlled under, we go to administration, manage categories, And here's where you control average freight in. So you can clear these, do what you want. That's all covered in another tutorial. So that's what the system knew how to, or what price to generate for average freight in. But let's say you're ordering this from this vendor and you're having it shipped next day air. So now your average freight cost is going to jump probably quite a bit. So let's say it's going to cost you $75 to have this shipped next day air. Well, you certainly want to build that cost into the total cost before you mark it up. So you just type in 75, and again, when you move out of that field, it regenerates the cost, adding that $75 in. So that way your freight is covered. Now, if you, let's say the manufacturer doesn't want, or they're not going to charge you any freight at all, we'll just put in a 0. And then when you move out of that field, it leaves the cost at $94.32. It doesn't add anything in. And then to get back to the original freight in, just clear the field completely. And then when you click out, it regenerates the average freight in. And that average freight in is based on this cost right here, 4% of that cost, or whatever percent you set it at. And surcharges, of course, that's where they're going to charge a surcharge. Now that can be loaded automatically also if you go in under administration, right here, manage surcharges. This is covered in another tutorial. We're not going to cover it here. And you can make a universal surcharge for all of a manufacturer's products or a certain category. But let's say it's a one-time thing and you want to add a surcharge in. Maybe they're going to charge you a 10% add of the cost. So just type 10, and when you move out of that field, it generates that cost or that surcharge based on the cost up here and adds it to the total cost here. So any way you want to do it. All right, so this is our total cost, adding up all the necessary fields here. And then that total cost will be used to for a markup to generate the retail price. Now right now the markup is set at 120%, and you see it's grayed out. I can't make any changes. That's because this account type is set to contractor, so it's locked in at that discount for all products. Now you can change that. There are actually other discounts you can choose from. If this was a retail customer, you can see now the markup changed to 130%, and it regenerated a new retail price. But let's say this vendor is giving you special pricing. We'll select special because you want to enter your own markup, or you don't want that standard markup to be used, rather. I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything from the manufacturer. But you want to use a special markup. Select special, and now you can click in here. We'll clear this out and just type in whatever markup you want. Let's say you only want to mark it up 50%. Now when I move out of that field, I'll click in the retail. It regenerates the new retail price. Now total retail is grayed out until I put in a quantity. So I come back over here to quantity, and let's say we're going to do 5. I'll move out of there. Now I have a new total price. Now I'm ready. I can click Save Part, and it'll add it to the list down here. These are just some boxes here. If you're doing something like labor, you'll probably get this pop up where it checks this automatically, because that's not something you can put on a shelf. So it's a non-inventory item. Another example, it might be a 3-sided frame, like a 3070 5 3/4 right-hand frame. That's made up of components. And if you use components like the head, the hinge jamb, and the lock jamb, those components would be tracked in inventory, not a 3070 5 3/4 right-hand frame. So for that frame, that would be checked. Then if you wanted to view those, or if you wanted to add components to it, you could check this box, and you would see a new button over here, Show Components. I could click that and add components for this item. Or if a frame automatically has the components saved those components will be loaded. They'll be in the background, and that's what would be generated for the inventory and actually for the total cost. If this is a non-taxable item, you don't want any tax added to this, you can check this box, and when you click Save Part, it will not add sales tax for that item. Now here, this box was automatically checked, suggest ordering, because of these numbers here. And it says there's insufficient quantity available for this order, because I put a quantity of 5 in. So there's not enough to fulfill this order. So this suggest ordering means this item, when I click Save Part Number, it's going to be added to another list in the background for the person who does purchasing to get that item ordered. And then this would be shipped to job if you wanted to go directly to the job. If it's going to be, if you're going to suggest ordering, check that box if you want it shipped direct to the job instead of coming into your place of business. Okay, so that should pretty well do it. Now, I'm sorry, here you can add a note for this particular line item. Whatever it might be, you can type anything you want in here. That will show up on the sales order when it's generated. So anything you might want to say about this particular item, whatever it might be, for the customer or anyone, you can type a note in there. And then we'll just click Save Part Number. You want to save the part number, you can see it adds it to the list. It cleared out the part number and description, everything up here, the price. Now I'm ready to select the next part. I can leave it at locks, and I can go back in here. Actually, if I select locks, I'll clear out that list. Or I can just start entering the next product, whatever it might be. We'll do 5, save part number, and there's the next one. Now if I want to add more, maybe a mortise lock, say 10 of these, save part number, they're added. So you can see how quick and easy this can be to enter parts. And down here it shows the total as we go, sales tax, and the total for the order. This is a sales tax that's being used based on the sales tax ID that's been selected over here. Then the total weight. So if I need to get an estimate for shipping from UPS, FedEx, freight lines, whoever, I'll have an approximate idea of how much the weight is, so I can get a cost on that shipping. And then I can add a freight charge in on this. So let's see, I believe that should cover everything. Oh, down here it's pretty important. If this was a contract job, and that's covered here under job info. If you get a job, you can add a contract amount and all that to it. This will show me the current contract amount with any change orders that have been approved. And right here is the total number of orders and invoicing I've written against that contract. This will show me the balance left to invoice. This comes in real handy on contract jobs, so you don't leave money on the table, forget to invoice something. I always know I have at least this much I need to invoice out. Now, of course, what I've added here is $7,000. That's going to go over the contract amount. So that will let me know I'm way over. I need to make some changes or adjustments to pricing or something, because I can really only invoice $249 on this contract. So that comes in pretty handy for not forgetting to get your full amount on your contract. Now, if it's not a contract, this will just be blank, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, I believe that's everything on adding products. Again, this all works the same on purchase orders, estimating, whatever you're on for adding products. All these other tabs will be covered in different tutorials. So if you have any questions on this, just give me a call or email. We'll be more than happy to help you out. And have a great day. Thanks.